Hello ghouls and goblins. Today we're going to go ahead and do a Halloween makeup tutorial. We're going to be doing the Fantasy Makers by Wet n Wild Zombie Bride. Right now we're going to go ahead and start by moisturizing and priming our skin, getting ready for the different layers of makeup we'll be using. I actually let every level of moisturizing set in before I start applying makeup. As you can tell, we're going to go ahead and do the Zombie Bride version of this. It's more of a burgundy, black, gray, white, very zombie-like. So we're going to start at the moment by applying the white in the Zombie Bride palette to our under eyes and our eyelids. Just get a pretty thick base so we can go ahead and be able to set a good foundation for when we apply the actual color. When we apply a good level foundation, we're able to blend out or buff out the colors a little bit more. Let's go ahead and make sure we get it all over our eyelid and actually wing it out towards our temple. We're going to be actually working with quite a bit of colors in this area. Now what I like to do with the white, I like to go ahead and set the white using a translucent e.l.f. powder. So I'm going to go ahead and tap it on all over where I placed the white makeup. This will actually keep the makeup from moving as we're trying to layer it with different colors. So now we're going to move on to color. We're going to start off with the burgundy because for that zombie effect, we're using the burgundy as a base, actually darkens the eye and gives you that I haven't slept and I'm not living look. So as you can see, I actually was very generous with the burgundy. I wanted to make sure to just do one application and then use most of my time to blend it out and blend it out in a way to where it was all from my eyelid out to my temple and all underneath my eye as well. We'll be setting this color later after we're done. Let's work with the black now. I'm using the black in the palette as well. I used a flat brush with this only because it's easier to apply, and I really piled on the black as much as I could. This is only the first layer of black. I wanted to make sure to cover my whole eyelid as good as possible. This is actually going to help me in applying more black so I know how much to apply, and then also how much of it I still need to be able to move upward so that I can blend the black out. Now I'm going to use a black eyeshadow to set the black. As you can tell, it turns significantly darker, and this also aids you in being able to blend everything out. Don't be scared. This is not a very clean look. It's not a precise look. Really, you have the look, the zombie look is very messy, so a lot of things really don't matter. So I tried to blend the black out. I wanted to get as high up towards my eyebrow as I could, and then of course drag it out like I did towards my temple. And you will also notice that we have to also bring the black down to our under eye. It's blending, blending, and more blending. Here I start working on the bottom. This was a little bit more difficult for me, only because I have sensitive eyes, but relatively easy. We're going to continue to work the black, adding more as we move along. As you can tell here, I started working upward now, only because this now gives you the sunken eye look. All of it should be the same level of black as it is on my eyebrow bone all the way to the bottom of my under eye. So it does take a little bit of time, but the blending is everything. So here, in moving on, after applying the black, we will use an eyeliner. The eyeliner is actually going to darken our over and under eye line. So it's going to work, as you can tell, I'm going to put as much of it as I can on the top lid and the bottom, only because this is going to solidify the whole black around the eye. I was going to use white, but I thought, no, I really didn't want my eye opened, which is the white eyeliner effect. So I decided to pile on black eyeliner. Once moving on, which from eyeliner, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set that red I talked about. So I used the dark burgundy eyeshadow that I have gotten. This burgundy shadow is actually not too much of a red and not too much into the brown. So to me, it was a perfect combination to be able to set the red. Again, being very generous because we want to move this red lower, and this is also going to aid us in blending out that black. So as you can tell how much the red changed after I added the eyeshadow. Now I'm bringing it upward. This color I do bring up as high as my eyebrow. You can't tell at the moment. After I do bring in my brows to join the party, you will notice where this red does match up to the top of my eyebrows. Once again, blending, blending, and blending. So with one eye done, all I'm doing is cleaning it up now, adding up some color wherever I do need it. Now, we're going to go ahead and start getting into the stencils. Now, the stencils are a lot of fun. As you can tell, they give you full sheets. My first thought was to put the whole sheet on my face. And then I thought to myself, no, it'll be easier if I cut them up. So I went ahead and did that. I cut them up into bits and pieces. Here you see me applying more white. I wanted to make sure to get the white in. I didn't know how far down I was going to go with the veiny stencils, so I wanted to make sure to start covering all my cheeks. And then once again, I set that white so it doesn't move around while I'm adding other colors. This powder, since it's translucent, it really does help the white base in itself. This is the Wet n Wild eyeliner pencil that comes with the makeup set. So I decided to go ahead and make it easy and line it with the pencil instead of using a brush and the black in the palette. I found it to be a lot easier. This is where I decided I'm going to go ahead and cut the stencils. So I went back, looked at it, and I was like, nah, this isn't going to work. See what I meant by the veins? I didn't know how far down the veins were going to come. So this is where I decided I'm going to cut. And those are the small pieces. I decided to go with the smaller veins only because they're around my eye. I really didn't like the look that would go with the large veins. I should have maybe used those on my neck. Maybe next time. So these stencils are sticky on one side and then shiny vinyl material, I believe, on the other. So I placed it underneath my eye and once again used the eyeliner to line it out. As you can tell, it really did help me get in between the grooves in the stencil so that the veins would be a little bit more accurate. I felt like if I was using the brush, it was going to move the stencil a little bit too much. So there's one, and I covered it pretty well. Here's the second one, which seemed to be a little bit spread out. So it was a little bit more difficult to get that eyeliner in there. But once putting in a good coat of the eyeliner on top of it, Now we're going to move on to setting the black so that the same way it doesn't move around. So I decided to go in there with the black eyeshadow, the same one I used to set the black on my eyelids, and then just piled it on. Put it right above the veins that I had used the eyeliner on. And this also deepens the black, as you can tell. It really did come out really well. I'm glad the stencils were as sticky on the other side as they said they would be. There's other kits I have seen where the stencils aren't sticky at all, and you literally have to like some way somehow tape it to your face. So here we go, magic moment, and here we go. Voila! And you have two veins coming down from your eyes. Actually, I really liked them, but as you can tell, the way I placed the stencil under my eye, it wasn't all the way up to my eye, the rim of my eye. So I decided to connect the two together by using the same eyeliner and extending the vein. That was one. I just kind of brought it to the corner of my eye. And this one I just brought straight up. Bringing it straight up just kind of gave it that longer effect. It was long. It was short at the beginning, and I lengthened it up a little bit using the pencil, but it wasn't as long as the other stencil. And here we have both eyes done, which dramatically changed the look. On top of now, eyebrows join the party. So here we go. Now we're going to move on to more of a darkened contour. Once again, going along with the zombie look. I used black shadow. I was going to use gray, but I'm a little bit darker complected, so the gray was not showing up. So I decided to go with the black. And as you can tell, the black did the job. So I brought it as close to my mouth as I could, only because I wanted it to really give me that depth. Now at the moment, while working on the contour, I made the biggest mistake ever and didn't check that I wasn't recording anymore. 12 minutes later, everything was done. I hope you really like this look. Check out the pictures. For the sets, please check my Instagram at Lady Halloween, and also Lady Halloween at facebook.com. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you really liked it, and look for future makeup tutorials to come. Thanks, guys.